Mr Golightly's Holiday by Salley Vickers. Read by Jacobi. One afternoon in mid-March, when the green-white snowdrops had blown ragged under the tangled hawthorn hedges, and the pale constellations of primroses had ceased to be a novelty, an old, half-timbered traveller van drove into the village of Great Calne in the county of Devon. Sam Noble, out walking his bitch Daphne, watched with naked curiosity as the driver negotiated the corner by the Stag and Badger. Before his retirement, Sam had been a film director, and had had hopes of winning the Palme d'Or at Cannes, with a film about women jockeys. However, for the past 5 years he had lived in Great Calne, where the principal excitement was provided by Morning Claxon's plans to transform the tea rooms into an alternative health centre. There was another witness to the arrival of the car. Johnny Spence had, as usual, skipped school, and was hiding in the upper branches of a yew tree that spread its antique shade over the churchyard wall, and onto the garden of the Reverend Meredith Fisher. Johnny knew that the lady vicar was off doing counselling training in Plymouth, so he was free to watch the old Morris being brought skilfully round the corner and into the front garden of Spring Cottage, which, since the death of Emily Pope, had been let out by her daughter, Nicky, to holiday-makers. So far, Spring Cottage had been rented by a couple of families who had complained about the out-of-date facilities and the damp. It had been a relief to receive a request from the gentleman who had described himself as a writer in need of a peaceful situation within easy walking distance of shops and pub. Writers were notoriously careless people. Very likely this one might notice that the Norwegian wood-burning stove, sold to Nicky by a travelling salesman who had hinted at further attractions, filled the downstairs rooms with smoke when the wind was in the wrong direction. Sam Noble had made his way up towards the moor by the time the driver came to unload the traveller. Only Johnny Spence was there to observe him more closely. Had he been asked, he would have described the stranger as a fattish old guy who looked as if he hadn't had a proper shave. But Johnny's position would not have afforded a view of the newcomer's most striking feature, a pair of eyes whose true colour was hard to discern, since they had a quality of shifting from the brooding shades of a storm-crushed sea to the limpid freshness of a dawn sky. It appeared that the visitor was, at any rate, physically strong, since he emptied the traveller in double-quick time. The contents were comparatively few: a knocked-about suitcase, a laptop computer, a portable stereo, and some cardboard boxes, one of which bore the name of a wine store. A drinking man, at least, Colin Drover, who managed the local inn, might have remarked. And with drink, as with so much else, inclination in one quarter usually leads to exploration of others. When the stranger had unpacked the van, he strolled up the main street to the inn and entered the firelit warmth. Colin Drover was out the back, hurrying up Paula over the prawns, when Mr Golightly made his way to the bar. Customers liked their prawns better shell off, but it was God's own task to get Paula to shell them. There was always some excuse. If not her periods, it was her boyfriend's back, though what the devil that had to do with anything, Colin Drover couldn't imagine. As if boy was what you could call Jackson anyway. Jackson had been at school with Colin, and both had seen the best side of 50. As usual with any encounter with Paula, her employer had got the worst of it, and this made him of a mind to try that bit harder with the person he saw seated at one of the bars. "Good evening. What can I get you?" The publican infused his greeting with a special concern. The new customer smiled back. He had an agreeable expression, and, thick-set and sensibly dressed in an old tweed jacket and woolen shirt, had the appearance of a country person himself, but Colin couldn't place the accent. "Thank you. A pint of your special bitter, if you be so kind." Colin Drover was proud of his beer. The stranger sipped and sighed, and the landlord of the Stag and Badger sighed too, with vicarious enjoyment. "Nothing like a good pint, I always say," he remarked. "Nothing like it, except perhaps another one," the stranger promisingly agreed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?